Well, hello there. Welcome back to the Hotel Orloff, where we have the best in comics, comics for all ages. We're going to have a comic book party today with wholesome, entertaining comics, ladies and gentlemen. So join me and let's go back down memory lane. It's Christmas in America. It's time to enjoy Christmas. It's June the 30th. It's a full moon last night, and that's time for a comic book party, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's go. And you know, Santa Claus brought me some early Christmas presents. Look what I just obtained for $2. Well, I've had to pay Santa Claus $2. It's a 8mm Mighty Mouse versus an outer space visitor. So I should tune in to YouTube, and I'm sure I've seen this original cartoon from which this is derived 1,000 times, but this is how we watched films before the VCR was invented. From Ken Films. They had the ability to give you short, little, several minute long versions of the Ten Commandments, of Hammer, Christopher Lee Dracula movies. Oh, look at that. That's from, that's not 1,000,000 years BC. That's when dinosaurs ruled the earth with Victoria Vitri. That was not the Raquel Welch one. Oh, man, look, Mr. Magoo, all the wonderful things in life. Trog and Samson and Mighty Mouse. What else? Popeye. Can't forget Popeye. Mighty Mouse, 8mm. So, and I got a box of kitty litter for the cats. That was another wonderful present from the jolly old elf. Hold on a second. It's a hot day here, man, so I need to turn on the fan. So it may create some extra noise, but we'll make this show seem like a low-rent affair. But it's all right. Don't worry about it. All right. Hey, there's Ambrose the cat. He's up on top of these boxes of vintage comic books looking up at this light because there's a flickering bulb up there that I need to switch out. Now look at this. It's not real. It's a fake reproduction, but it's a Ham's beer sign that I need to put somewhere. When they used to market beer to children. Okay, I need my glasses.
Hey, straight up 8 o'clock a.m. You need the rock board, I shoot me in. I'm big summer spectacular cartoon. June Wheeler, 2026.
Okay. Full moon last night. Supposed to have been a red moon. I didn't get to see it. I didn't go outside to look at it. What a tragedy. Okay. So we have some Archie comics to look at. What's in this box? Superboy. Golden Age comics. Thought I brought my Flash comics downstairs. I need to go back upstairs and get them. I've got 3 boxes of Archie comics to look at. But you know who's on top of that box? Ambrose the cat is on top of the Archie comics box.
And I'm not going anywhere, man. You guys can buzz off.
Well, we'll have to look at something else until Ambrose is finished standing on the Archie comics. Now, a lot of Archie comics start with the letter A. There's Archie and there's Archie Giant Series magazine, isn't that what it's called? And then there's, well, people might call it Betty and Veronica, but it's actually titled Archie's Girls, Betty and Veronica. And it's not called Jughead, it's Archie's pal, Jughead, right? Yeah, something like that. Later, they gave Betty and Veronica a separate series that didn't say Archie's Girls at the top. So I filed that under B, but I'm a stickler for filing things where they should be. So we may get to the third box of Archie comics before we get out of the A's. What's in this box, man? Oh man, the cat wants to mess with my stuff here. I've got a I've got several comic bags that are bagged. Look at that. Do you realize what this is? This historic object? This is the first comic book bags. They were invented by this guy, Robert Bell, who was a book dealer, comic book dealer. And I don't know, was it the early, someone that's been collecting a little longer than me could tell me when he started it. I could research it, but I can't get on my phone right now because I'm filming on my phone. I don't know if it was the early 70s or late 60s that he came up with the idea of putting comics in bags. It says, comic book protective cover for Golden Age comics. $4 per 100, add 50 cents for postage on orders under $10. Robert Bell, Box Up 18, Hapagi, New York. So there's a little note on this one. This is probably from Captain Strangelove. It says, these Bell bags are from around 1970. Yeah, it answers it. From around 1971 or so, I think. In 1968, I bought my first Bell bags, okay, for $300 per 100. I only have one left. He also had lighter bags, 100 for $2. Okay, so this was a present from Captain Strangelove. I also have some that, because my friend Randy gave me an entire long box of Archie comic books. Look at me doing the hand motions like a real YouTuber. He gave me these boxes. You know, they did. You ever see what's his face? I haven't seen him. Is he still on YouTube? The little guy, the investor guy that would tell you what to spec on? Was Comic Tom? Comic Tom. Who else did that? Sticky Goose, because he watched a lot of Comic Tom, and that's how he learned how to collect comics from Comic Tom. He does this hand motion stuff too. So I guess if I do this enough, I only need a few dozen more subscribers, then I'll get to 1,000. Who else does that? It's Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, that they want to be our president. He does a lot of hand motions. He's like a referee, an umpire, because that shows that he's sincere. And pay attention to my hands, not what I'm saying. Anyway, so my friend Randy gave me a long box of his entire Avengers collection from issue 16 to the mid-1970s. Said, I don't want to deal with Heritage auctions. I auctioned off all my X-Men through Heritage. I wasn't really thrilled with the experience. I'd rather you just have all these. And a few of them I had already from the early 70s and even from the 60s, but this was a complete run. Not in, good condition mostly, but perfectly fine, all together, all readable. So that was an amazing present. Happened right before COVID. It's amazing how I can think of my life pre and post COVID. I guess that's how, guys, that I guess would be about 100 years old now, thought about their life pre and post World War II. Because COVID-19 was like we were put through torture. That was a psychological, that was a psyop, that whole thing. Look at this little cat, man. Up there, you see him up there? You see him up there at the top? Look at that. Look at him there, right there. That's the recessed lighting that I'm trying to get fixed, but he's up there. Ambrose, is there a critter up? I hope there's not a critter up there, but anyway. He's up there, man, keeping everything safe for us here. They were all in Robert Bell bags, is my point, the books I got from my friend Randy. This is the one I saved. I put the Robert Bell bag inside of a Robert Bell bag. And this is identical to the one that Captain Strangelove sent me. And then I saved 2 of them. I mean, I chunked most of them. There's another one. Just kept because, so I've got 3 Robert Bell bags because they're historical curiosity. I don't know, to me they are. And obviously to Captain Strangelove too, so if you're an archivist, however you want to pronounce it. Little Abner had a comic strip within a comic strip, which I thought was ingenious. Little Abner, the hillbilly character that was the darling of the liberal set in the 30s and 40s, and then as Al Cap, the cartoonist, got older, he became more and more conservative and hated hippies, and pretty soon, by the 60s, Little Abner had become a very conservative strip, and it upset hippies to the point where John Lennon and Al Cap argued. Well, while they were in, when they did the bed, sit in, lay in, Yoko Ono and John Lennon, the celebrities would come in and talk to them, and Al Cap came in. Okay, he's down now. Anyway, Little Abner, the character that I get sidetracked. Jethro Bodine and the Beverly Hillbillies was based on Little Abner. I mean, if you think about it, the Beverly Hillbillies was just was an unauthorized version of Little Abner. Anyway, so his favorite comic strip was Dick Tracy type strip. It was called Fearless Fosdick, and it was a really violent comic strip. And this was Al Cap's parody of Chester Gould, the cartoonist that did Dick Tracy. And of course, Dick Tracy was a very violent comic strip, and I think that's ingenious to have. I think on the Munsters, Herman Munster, his favorite character was Little Orphan Annie, and Little Abner liked this Fearless Fosdick. Now, the thing about Fearless Fosdick, he would shoot at the bad guy. He was kind of like Get Smart in that he was klutz. And he'd wind up shooting whole crowds full of people while he's trying to shoot the bad guy. Here's a ad for Baby Ruth. I love these ads, man. Even girls like ARPAN water guns. Look at that, man. ARPAN water guns. That's something to look for on eBay. ARPAN Products, Orange, New Jersey. And a great Lionel Trains ad. Columbia Bikes. I don't remember that particular bike brand, but nice advertisement there. There's a whole coffee table book that came out back, I think, in the 80s that reprinted the Fearless Fosdick strips. So here's little Abner's reading the funny papers, and then you see what he's reading. Dick Tracy. Fearless Fosdick is up against Anyface. He's basically Dick Tracy, but he's got a little mustache, a little John Waters kind of mustache. Al Cap, tremendous artist. One of the highest compliments I've ever been paid in my life was in 6th grade when my 6th grade teacher told another teacher that my drawing style was like Al Cap. And of course, back in 1976, people knew who Al Cap was, still older people. But I will be back in a moment. Hold on. I shall return. Sorry, I had a phone call. Look at this. Look at this art project someone created that I wound up getting at a garage sale. It's like a Halloween tree. Oh, I got another one too, a little smaller one. How about that? Well, that you see the little eyeball and the hand and everything. I don't know, maybe it's cheesy. When you see things like that for a couple of bucks, you figure someone cared about horrible things enough to create something. You know, that's like not a typical typical garbage you see at a garage sale. I was going to say a garbage sale, but a garage sale is what I mean. Okay. Well, we've looked at one comic book so far in 18 minutes. Oh, well. Well, the cat's off the Archie box. Let's look at Archie. Now, Archie, if you put yourself in the... Well, Archie started, about 1940? And you've got to be aware of... if you collect comic books, I don't know how people are just into comic books and nothing else, because it seems like you've got to understand what all about popular culture to really understand comics. Just like I was aware the little Abner and Beverly Hillbillies are pretty much, I see that, and maybe you saw it too, and you realized that, I don't know, maybe I'm not that as brilliant as I think I am. But, what was I going to say? Put down in the comments below what I was going to say. And while you're at it, let's thumbs up and like and subscribe. When I get to 1,000 subscribers, I can go live. And the YouTube live feature, it looks really good. StreamYard looks very degraded and pixelated, and at least to me it does. And you have to have a stupid little goose or something up in the corner of the screen, and it doesn't work anymore. But I can see. I was watching Meyer Greenblatt got up over 1,000 subscribers. He used to be on the show a lot. He's got his own live streams going now, and it looks magnificent. So I got to get to 1,000 subscribers. Give me the power. Anyway, well, I don't know. I got to get like 30 something subscribers. Let's see, where am I at? I think 33. 33 subscribers needed. So tell your friends and your parishioners and all that. But yeah, the YouTube live feature looks good, but got to get to 1,000 subscribers. But I tell you, when I first started on YouTube, before the pandemic happened, but I really started doing it a lot during the pandemic after I retired. Um, um, the hell am I talking about? I'm sorry, what the heck am I talking about? Um, oh, when I first started, to get to 37 subscribers, I thought I'd never get to 30. I'd never get to 40. It took so long to build up that many subscribers. And really, to get 33 subscribers very well could take a year. Well, I don't know. I saw a 500th subscriber celebration in my back playlist, and it was from 2 years ago. So maybe it happens quicker than I think. But it's like as soon as I'll get 2 subscribers, and then I'll lose 1, or I'll get 1 subscriber, then I'll lose 2. I don't know, because I say things like, I hate most comic books, and then people that like comic books get upset. You know. So whatever. Que sera, sera, whatever. Will be, will be. All right. Let's see what's going on. Oh, we're going to look at Archie comics. Oh, what I was going to tell you is if you were in 1940 as a kid, you knew that Archie comics wasn't really that original a concept, because there was no television in 1940, at least not in the United States. We'd invented it. It was shown at the World's Fair, but World War II kind of delayed television. You know, if World War II wouldn't have happened, we probably would have gotten television in our homes in the early 40s. But as it happened, it wasn't really until the late 40s, early 1950s that people got television, because people were busy making weapons and things, right? But the Germans had television during World War II. I mean, not everyone didn't have it. They were broadcasting. But technologically, they were pretty advanced, but they were beaten because we had more. Their equipment was destroyed, and we outproduced them. You know, doesn't matter. What am I talking? Oh, if you were around in 1940, you knew that Archie was like the Andy Hardy movies with Mickey Rooney, who was, and Judy Garland was in those movies. They didn't have, that was what I was trying to say. There was no television in 1940, but there were things that were like television. Because Andy Hardy movies, they probably have 5 or 6, I don't know, how often did they come out? Probably 5 or 6 a year to your theater. So it was like a TV series, and you'd go and you'd watch for an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half, the latest Andy Hardy adventure. And it was like a TV series, because you would go back, but you'd see it in a theater. And there were other characters that were like that were long series of movies that came out pretty often, enough that you could kind of count on it like clockwork, like Blondie, based on the newspaper strip. And there was, there were always Tarzan movies, and Charlie Chan, and they were just characters. And then, of course, there were movie serials that were every Saturday that you would see the latest episode. That would keep kids coming back for Saturday matinees, because they didn't have Saturday morning cartoons then. Kids would go to the theater on Saturday early afternoon. So Andy Hardy and Henry Aldrich on the radio were both very Archie-like characters with Archie-like scenarios and situation storylines. So that's the truth. Not hyperbole.
Here, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar talk about the mysterious death of his close friend and teacher Bruce Lee.
All right, so we're gonna look at Archie comics.
Goodbye, Bruce Lee. His last game of death. Bruce Lee.
There's a documentary about the real Betty. There was a real Betty. The two of the artists that worked on the Archie comics, Bob Montana and Harry Lucy, would go to this cafeteria there in the building where the Archie Comics Company was based. What was it, MLJ Production Publication, something like that. And there was a lady there, Betty. She had this long Slavic, long name. And they both had a crush on her, and I think you have to look it up on Wikipedia. I'm garbling the story. I think Bob Montana actually dated her for a while, and they both were kind of rivals for her attention, and this cafeteria girl. And anyway, she wound up marrying someone else and having a nice life, but they made a documentary about the real Betty, and I don't know how to see that documentary. Maybe it's on Internet Archive. I don't know. If you know how to see it, let me know. This box is up too high now. Oh, man. Oh. What the hell? I've got some Archie comics that are not bagged and boarded because they're too big. I guess I'd have to get... I've got these early Archie comics in a magazine box that's wider. But these won't even fit in I don't think they'd even fit in a Golden Age bag. I need to get magazine bags. So this is Archie's Pals and Gals number 3. The song Ventura Highway. Remember that song from the early 70s where they sang alligator lizards in the air? And I thought, well, why did I did several older songs that sound like they're from the 50s or older that talk about alligator lizards near Ventura, and then it seems like the song Ventura Highway is takeoff on the songs that I created. I don't know. Archie's Pals and Gals. This is a thick comic. See, it's like a book. This is like a pulp. It could go on a bookshelf, which would probably be a good way to display these. Look at this. I wonder why did they choose to make him have a missing tooth? I guess for realism. I like the advertisements at the bottom of the page. That reminds me of the early Bronze Age Marvel comics that would do that. What year is this from? Let's take a look. '1954-55 edition. So this is right before the comics code isn't in yet, but will be soon. But if you ever see the Harvey Kurtzman Will Elder parody of Archie, it's made to look like the comics from this time period, maybe a few years earlier. So this is number 3. I think these were yearly. This is an annual, I think. Well, let's see, because here's number 11. And you can see Archie has changed quite a bit since 54 to 55. Okay, so if my math is correct, that would make this 8 years more recent. So let's see, that would be like about 63. Let's see if that's the right, if I'm correct. 5960. Well, maybe they're not annual, but they're very close. They're a long time. Look at that. This jewelry ad. It's harem company. So you want a harem of women, kind of like Archie has. That's where you go to. Surprise package with exploding hand grenade. Toys, novelties, games, tricks, jokes, etc., plus exploding hand grenade valued at $1 itself. It's from the Honor House. Are you willing to take a chance? We won't tell you what you get except for the exciting grenade that explodes automatically and harmlessly and is $1 value itself. But because you're willing to trust us, we'll give you lots more than your money's worth. You're in for a real surprise when you get a load of the toys, novelties, games, tricks, jokes, etc. Would you send, how much do they want? Would you send $1 for that? A box of, I certainly would have. Of course, you got to realize that $1 in 1960, oof, that's about like sending $10. Am I not right? You know, in 1960, a comic book was 10 cents. That's 10 comic books. You two can be tough. Master jujitsu and learn the quick defense. Now, Archie was not a comic book only read by girls. I think that it was read more by girls than anything. But I bet no one ever has read this text page. Nature's Notebook, the camel. Contrary to general belief, the camel does not carry water in its hump or humps. The hump is a storehouse for fat, which gives the camel dinner. It's just like reading a textbook. I don't know, it may be a little more entertaining than a textbook. But textbooks, the text pages were in there so they could tell the postal authorities that there's printed matter in the book so they could get different postal rates. That's the only reason they would have or maybe they'd have to pay an artist for that page, so that might be it too. You two could be tough. There's a lot of self-defense, so you can kind of get a profile of what the reader was supposed to be. So there's a speedometer for your bike. You got an amazing wrist radio, which now exists. There's Apple Watches now, which are what they predicted in Dick Tracy and everything. Okay, so that's number 11. Here's number 13. So this should be about, 63, right? No, man, they must have started publishing it more frequently as when the 50s ended, because this is number 13 and they're still in 1960, September of 60. So all of a sudden, maybe it went from an annual comic and they made it several times a year. Remember, it's the space age, the jet age. Christmas issues were always magnificent and beautiful with that lettering and just oh, look at that. I thought that was gonna be J.R. Bob Dobbs. Sorry. This, you can tell, is an attempt to clone Charlie Brown. Well, the 250th birthday celebration is Saturday. It's a 55% chance of thunderstorms here where I'm at. But the fireworks from Washington, D.C. are supposed to be late. I was just reading they're not going to start until, it's going to be more fireworks shot than ever, but it's not going to start until about 11 o'clock Washington time, so in the Central Time Zone around 10 o'clock. So it's got to be competition for Saturday Night Live. Who watches Saturday Night Live? Hasn't been funny in 50 years. Oh my goodness. What is going on here? Is what I'm... Oh, Betty had a dream. Anyway, so there's Veronica. But I was confused by, like, all of a sudden Reggie is Veronica. So it was part of Betty's dream. I gotta read this story because it looks like an Elliot Page kind of thing here. But because you can tell that it's not a guy. You can tell that's Veronica, but it's part of Betty's crazy dream she had. And the name of the story is The Other Side. Yes, indeed. I could just look at these all day long. And I probably will. What time is it, ladies and gentlemen? 2:17 p.m. Okay, now we're issue 17's in a bag and board. This is from, not 63, you're wrong. It's from summer 61. Looks like this is a book I got not too long ago. All right. Let's see. Oh, here's some more. By 41, we're into that wonderful era, this wonderful, colorful era of the 60s. The 50s were a wonderful era for Archie comics, and the 60s were as well, with these great go-go covers. That's issue 41. Here's issue 53. Archie's band is being beaten up by women's lib types. Oh. Well, no, they're not women's lib types. They're just wanting locks of their hair and stuff. See, they're cutting his hair. But they're beating the heck out of him. 53. Here's 54. Yep. Okay. We're into the 70s here. Number 72. Okay. 77. This one's not bagged and boarded. Let's see what. June of 73. So when this came out, I was just finishing second grade. Amazing $1 art offer. You get some cat prints. All the Archie titles. It's really phenomenal. It's like Marvel in the 90s with the X-Men. And then what was even more extreme was Harvey and all their Casper and Richie Rich titles and Sad Sack titles. Look at all these 8-tracks. My older brother had an 8-track player. I have fond memories of that, but I think I always would buy records. I didn't think that was a superior format. Clearly it wasn't. Oh my gosh. Love Veronica Style. That was when Love American Style was. Boy, that was such a great theme song to Love American Style. You know what I always think of at the same, when I think of the Love American Style, I think of the theme song to the Saturday Superstar movie. I think on a mixtape, a mixed CD, I once put Love American Style, and then I recorded the Saturday Superstar movie theme right after that, and it was what is this? What is the rationale? Why did I put Archie's Pals and Gals before Archie?
It's got a message from Q. He says,
Archie doesn't make any sense. Here's Archie's Madhouse Annual. I got this not long ago from Charlton 66. But this doesn't belong where it is. Oh, maybe I put it there. Oh, I know why all these are there. Is because they wouldn't fit in the other boxes. Yeah, that's it. '81 of Archie's Pals and Gals. It serves us right for making the beach hire female lifeguards, says Veronica. We just saw this one, didn't we? What? Okay, and then once you get to a certain time period, it's just not as interesting. This is issue 137. We're into the late 70s here. Yeah, 79. I mean, it's still Archie, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's still okay. I like this ad on the back. The art style here. But there's just something about the 50s and 60s and early 70s that's more nostalgic for me. because I'm not really nostalgic for 1979. There's 140. 157. 159. 164. Here's an ad for Tron. Or is it Tron? No. It's Lock and Chase. Sorry, my glasses, I can't see anything. Sorry about that. I don't remember the game, Lock and Chase. 169. There's a He-Man video game. This was not my childhood. You see, this is when comics were 60 cents. Was I in college then? Almost. September 82. I'm a senior in high school. Just moving into my senior year in high school. So I think you remember there's there used to be a lady on YouTube. Her main thing was it Superman or Batman? I think it was Superman. She collected Lois Lane comics. I think her name was Silver-Haired Bronze Age Babe or something. But she once said, I don't think she does shows anymore on YouTube, but one time she said that people collect comics. What did she say? When you first, if you think when you bought your first comic, people collect comics 10 years after the first comic they bought and 10 years before the first comic they bought. And I bought my first comic in 69, which would mean I go back to 59, and then I go forward to 1979. I think that's what she said. I don't think it was from when you were born, because that wouldn't make sense. But it may have been something she thought up. And that is, always been fascinated by the stuff that came out right before I was aware of comics, or right before I was born, that my older brothers were buying. And 10 years after I bought my first comic, they're getting kind of weak here in the late 70s, early 80s. And of course, all of the comic companies declined, I think, in the 80s, to the point where it was just, the industry just died. And it was various, what mainly did it was video games. I was looking in the back thinking there'd be a video game ad, but there isn't. Video games in the home killed comics. And then the internet killed magazines, and it's killing the movie theater. The movie theaters, the movie industry is very sick. This is this is depressing. Number 177, September of 85. There's a missing children's ad here. That's really, I don't ever remember that. An important message from Archie and his pals. I like the baseballs that look like his friends' faces. See, this art style is not as much fun as what we were looking at earlier. But I would pick these things up. These would be in quarter bins, It's like an Archie comic. Now, there was this thing, Archie 3000. I don't. This is all beat up. I got it from a quarter bin. I guess it. How do they? February '91. So this was. I guess it's just Archie in the future. I don't know that it's they're not time traveling, so I guess these are just have to imagine that they were around in the year 3000. But in the future, everyone has mullets. Apparently, that's the futuristic hairstyle. This is script and penciling by Dan Parent. He's like the main Archie artist now today. He does these hipster covers where he takes stuff from hipster pop culture and makes covers with, like he'll put Veronica in a Vampirella suit, or have Betty about to be eaten by the Jaws shark, and the cover looks like the poster from the movie Jaws. But he's able to kind of replicate the earlier art style, and yeah, it looks like Dan Parent penciled all these, but he's pretty good. This must have been when he first started. He's got TDS real bad. But I guess I'm not supposed to talk about politics because that's what causes people to unsubscribe. Oh well. Yeah, this is I guess everyone's got. That's how they predicted hair would look in the future.
Radio show. Hey man, can't stay tuned, man.
Archie's radio control racers. See, this is what I'm complaining about. 1990, like, well, how is this Archie? They're trying to make it cool for idiot children in 1990. Yeah, I want to see Archie playing with RC cars, man. Well, at least they're not all playing Dungeons and Dragons in the basement. Ugh. See, having these comics in your collection dirties up the collection. It's just embarrassing and disgusting. The artwork on this cover looks pretty good. It's not Dan Parent. I just like the way their faces are drawn. It's Gallagher and D'Agostino. All right. Oh, we've got a good comic coming up next. Archie's TV Laugh Out. Archie was on Saturday morning television at that point, and Sabrina was on the show, and she got her own series, and the Groovy Ghoulies had Sabrina on it. Groovy Ghoulies never made it into the Archie comic, but Sabrina made it into the Groovy Ghoulies. It's Laugh Out as opposed to Laugh In, which was a popular comedy show then. This is a childhood copy. This one I bought when I was a kid. This is the type of art I like. It's just, it really is evocative of that time period of the early 70s. It's in an amusement park. This one I bought as a kid too. This I would have bought in second grade around 1972 at 7-Eleven down my street, Hampton, Virginia. This one I bought later, but I must have bought it probably in the late 70s. I don't know, but it's in my light, so they're wearing these high-heeled disco shoes. Yeah, Archie was good until the early 80s, I guess. You kind of go by the price. See, 40 cents, I think that's a little too late. It's kind of like looking at the date when you're buying groceries. You gotta... This is Josie and the Pussycat story. You can get these rainbow glitter transfers for your shirts. Yeah, the art is just very plain. And I like, there was a density about the art in the earlier issues. I don't know if I can fully explain it. It just felt different. It may also be right around the time that barcode came in. That's when a lot of the magic went out of comics, when that was put on them. This is around the time that Star Trek came out. Ooh, this is a beat up one I got from a quarter bin. They're still calling it Archie's TV Laugh Out long after the show was no longer on network. Here's video games on the back cover, Burger Time. Video games on the front cover. And Archie always reflected the times. But the problem is the video games are what killed comic books. Oh, what do we have here? What kind of debauchery is this? This is a free comic book day, issue 0. Archie Horror presents the Cursed Library Prelude. So, this doesn't look like an Archie comic book. Oh, it's must be Sabrina. Let's see, she's drawn realistically now. That's what they were trying to do for a while. They thought this would be the way to go about it. Make the comic real dark and demonic. Nothing about this looks like an Archie comic. I can't even recognize the characters. I mean, I guess that obviously it's supposed to be Jughead because he's got the crown hat on. Yeah, I don't know. This was a very ill-advised. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is like that TV show on Netflix. Yeah. All hail Satan, hail the Antichrist. The Morning Star is... The thing about witchcraft in these comic books, it wasn't about Satanism.
That was the theme to the Doom Patrol cartoon from Filmation.
That's the thing people in Hollywood don't realize, is it wasn't a religion in Bewitched. It's a race. It's a race of superpowered beings. They're born witches. They're not. They don't. You can't convert and become a witch in the world of Bewitched. There's never any mention of Satan. It's just that they're born with magical powers, like the X-Men. And if you have a child with a witch like Darren, then she'll have some powers. I guess they're like the fallen angels of the Nephilim or something. But it's the same thing in Harvey Comics. Casper is not a dead, a child that passed away and is now a ghost. There was, I guess, I don't know, one of the old 1940s comics, cartoons, theatrical cartoons. Casper makes friends with this fox, and the fox dies, and it comes back as a ghost fox, and they play, and it has a happy ending. But if you watch some of the cartoons made in the early 60s, and I guess in the context of the comic books from Harvey, Casper has these older cousins, right? The ghostly trio, are they his cousins? I think so. And they want him to be bad and to scare people, and he doesn't want to do that. They disapprove of Casper being this rogue ghost, right? So, but it seems like there was one cartoon I was watching a couple of weeks ago, and it was like there was a little ghost, and they said, "You're going to grow up to be." Oh, well, how does a ghost grow up to be an adult ghost? That means they're born ghosts. And Wendy, the good little witch, she was born a witch. And I think in the case of Sabrina comics, that they're born witches. They just have magical powers. The comic was never meant to go into the Satanism part. It's just supposed to be a fantasy thing. But of course, in these modern comics, these idiots think literally about everything, and they have to bring their perverse minds and imagination in. This is another free comic book based on this TV show, which where no one smiles. Everyone's got the same sad sex, lies, videotapes, what are they? The first episode, look at this terrible artwork. Archie has an affair with Miss Grundy, his teacher. And it's terrible. And then, I don't know what other perversion they bring into it. So, and then they've got this graphic novel, I guess, where it's kind of sort of drawn in an innocent style, but retro style, but not really. I guess this manga style is supposed to be reminiscent of what Archie comics used to look like, with the big eyes, but this just looks like manga. It looks like there's no words, so it's perfect for people that don't know how to read. Yeah, I mean, they might think that's trying to be like the old Archie comics with the big eyes, but it looks completely manga-like. Horrific. But then, just when you think you've ruled all hope out, then they'll put out something like this that looks like the good old days. It's great. And it says, Archie and Friends Hot Rod Racing. And they're introducing a character named Daisy Thunder. It's like, wow. This is great. It looks like a pinball back glass. And this was just a one shot, but I think this came out since we moved here, so this is less than 4 years old. I got this from Kevin at Gotham City Comics. But this is the time period I like. Betty and Veronica, summer fun. But you gotta be aware of it's tricky. The name of this comic is actually Archie Giant Series Magazine. So this is issue 13 of Archie. You'd have to look it up in the price guide or It's very confusing to people that don't know anything about comics. They think this is an issue of Betty and Veronica, but no, it's Archie Giant Series magazine. Dennis the Menace does that thing too, and Dell did that with the 4-color comics. They don't even have 4-color on the title, but it's in the indicia inside, and there's so many comics. You open it up, oh, it's 4-color number 463, but it's Leave It to Beaver, but it's not a Leave It to Beaver comic. It's 4-color. See, this is Archie's Christmas stocking, but it's Archie Giant Series magazine number 15. Beautiful cover. This is the Archie art I like. Is it 3 up? Oh, I better go check and see how. This is Archie's Jokes, which is another Giant Series magazine, number 17. Here's another Christmas stocking, number 20. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Santa Claus is saying, here are the keys, son. It's all yours, complete with sugar plums. Santa is describing Betty and Veronica as sugar plums. So, the thing about Betty and Veronica, the thing about Archie comics to me, it's endless Christmas and summer. And being at a malt shop with a jukebox playing in between in seasons that aren't summer or Christmas. This is issue 34 of Giant Series magazine. It's just a wonderful world. Okay. Mid-60s. As I was telling you a few episodes back, the 60s, what was really popular was 3 things. They always say the 3 Bs: the Beatles, Bond, and Batman. And so Batman would have spawned the superhero comics that were popular at the time, Marvel, and with Batman coming on the air, they had the Archie gang become superheroes. They just put a facsimile out this last week of the first, when Archie first became Pureheart the Powerful was his superhero name. But really it's more than just the Beatles, Bond, and Batman were the 3 major fads of the 60s. I always say it was also Big Daddy Roth. So there's 4 Bs because that's Hot Rod. Hot Rod's really big then too. And then surfing. So maybe we could say the Beatles, Bond, Batman, Big Daddy Roth, and boards. Maybe. We'll see. But anyway, I got to go check on things upstairs, and then I'll be right back. I have to keep checking. There's a box that's supposed to arrive today full of food, and it's like 91, 92 degrees outside. Cats like to sit here on the porch in the warmth. There's Callie down there. How are you doing down there? Here's Mimi, also known as Charlotte, also known as Charlie. Charlie has a lot of different names. Okay. I moved the Christmas tree back a little bit so it'd catch the light up here. That's neat. You don't see this room very often up here. Here's my Wacky Packages uncut poster that I got back when, around 74. Okay, all right. There's a member Archie Club button. Oh, can you see that? I have no idea. Well, let's get back to looking at Archie comic books. Unless you want to take a break and look at some Golden Age books. Let's see. Yeah, it's a dog day afternoon. We're staying cool, staying inside. It's Taco Tuesday, so I may slip out and get some tacos. But other than that, we're staying cool here, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Get you back into the tripod. All right. There's Archie facsimiles that are coming out. Let me see which ones I have, because I need to file them in with my Archie. I wish they'd do a facsimile of Archie number 50, which is a real expensive comic. It's got a cover that looks like maybe like a World War II pinup of Betty Grable, where Betty is on a divan or something talking on the phone to Archie, who I think mistakenly called her. But it's a great cover. They haven't done that one yet. They did the Archie 125 with this great Frankenstein cover, because oh man, we've got to revise that Beatles, Bond, Batman, Big Daddy Roth boards. But Monsters was another important part of the 60s. Everything was great in the 60s, except for the Vietnam War. But great time to be a kid. Maybe not a great time to be a college student. Or maybe it was. Maybe if you're in college, you weren't drafted. Anyway, so Frankenstein and the Monsters, that was a fad throughout all of the 60s, especially the early 60s. To the point where you put Frankenstein on the cover of your comic, it's going to sell more issues. Only the Comics Code Authority, though, prohibits the living dead from being shown in comics. But Frankenstein didn't count because he has literary origins with Mary Shelley. So the way it was written, the code said you can't have monsters, living walking dead, or werewolves or whatever, unless it's based on a literary source. Now, the Comics Code, Goldwater, not Barry Goldwater, but a different Goldwater that was in charge of the Archie company, he was one of the main bigwigs behind this self-regulatory board. Every comic book had to be submitted to them, and then they would approve it, or they'd say, you go white out, that's a little bit too much, this or that. And so it was a self-censoring board because they knew if they didn't censor themselves, the government was going to step in and do it. So we better clean our act up ourselves, or we're going to be out of a job, or we're going to be in jail, prison. So, putting out the crime and horror comics of the early 50s. So this came along around 1955. But anyway, one of the things, and it especially was very punitive, or it really punished EC more than any other company, because it had things written into the code that said you can't have the word horror in your title. You can't have this word or that word, which were words that EC had in some of their biggest selling comics, like the Vault of Horror. So it was like it was written to specifically punish them, because they were the ones making the best of the stuff. All the other companies were imitating EC and sometimes trying to go farther than EC. A lot of times trying to go farther than EC just to one-up them. But so, and another thing that Goldwater had a real, he was pissed at EC because in the Mad comic they did a parody of Archie called Starchy. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to look it up and see the way they lampooned Archie, because on the Archie comic back in the 50s, it always said America's typical teenager up above the masthead, above the logo. And so Harvey Kurtzman thought, well, America's typical teenager, they're all juvenile delinquents fighting with switchblades and robbing each other and dealing drugs. So he made the Archie comic, and Will Elder drew it perfectly, just in this style from the early 50s, and just made everything totally perverse. Not as bad as the Tijuana Bible, but trust me, that Goldwater guy, when the comics code came along, he made sure EC got it. And EC kind of went under. EC never stopped publishing. They continued with Mad as a magazine that wasn't subject to this code approval. And they always tell the story that the sales of Marvel overtook DC and became the biggest seller in the 60s. Well, that's not really true. Marvel got real close, but never really beat DC. And DC never beat Archie. And Archie never beat Mad. Mad was the best-selling comic book of the 60s, and that's the truth. It's not hyperbole. Well, how did he say it? It's not hyperbole, Jack. I don't know how to do a good Biden impression. It's not hyperbole, Jack. You think will I lie to you? I don't know. I forgot. I've washed it out of my memory. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm not actually to Archie yet. For some reason, where is Archie? Maybe that's not box 1. The lids are reversed. I was showing you box number 2. Box number 1 is over here. That's why I was thinking, why do I have Archie Giant Series magazine before Archie? Okay, let's go to the other box. Everything's out of order, but I'm not going to start the episode over. Okay, so I'm going to put this book in with these books. Okay, let's see what my earliest issue of Archie is. The one that the key collectors, that's what you're supposed to be as a comic collector. If you listen to people on YouTube, only collect the keys. Those are the only ones that matter. But the Archie 50 would be the big key issue. Where are my glasses? Oh, wow. Oh, well, man, where's my glasses? These aren't my glasses, but maybe these are better. I'm sick of these prescription glasses they gave me. When I look up, everything is so blurry that I'm dizzy. I need these little things from the dollar store aren't. But where did those things go? Oh, this is so much better. They're not as. They don't sharpen my vision to a crystal clear focus close up, but it's fine. And actually, this is much easier on my eyes because I can look up and everything's not just like looking through a shower door. Okay, my earliest issue of Archie, I'm not sure what issue this is. I used to know. It's all right. Here's Archie 59, 9 issues after that key issue. And see, this is the time period that Mad was making fun of, America's typical teenager. And they already had their version of a Code Authority stamp here, approved reading in Archie magazine. The Mirth of a Nation. Back when people still remembered the birth of a nation. But this is a great time period. Look at how they draw the characters. When Archie still had that gap in the front of his teeth, he looked like a beaver. That was the great time period. Look at how giant eyes. But it doesn't look like anime. That's 59. Here's 69. America's largest selling teenage magazine. Sometimes comic books like to refer themselves as magazines. Somebody was on Facebook Marketplace selling comic books and they called them cartoon magazines. Man, you don't know the word comic book? Here's number 72. $75. I like seeing these. They're really life-size representations of what you would get in Cracker Jacks. That would be so exciting to get a pair of pliers in your Cracker Jacks. Oh, that'd be fun to play with a miniature pair of pliers. Or a saw. Yeesh, this is not in very good shape. 1955. Oh, this is right after the Comics Code came in. See how big it is? This spent some time in a heat in an attic. But you can tell. A lot of comics I'd get in Texas, kind of, that had been in an attic. They were kind of brown and toasty. That's number 75. Yeah, it goes there. Here's number 98 from February of 1959. Here's 118. 122. And the one I'm wanting to put in is 125. Okay, so 131. So that facsimile, again, this is a comic that just came out a few months ago, maybe less than 6 months ago. This is a facsimile. Notice it doesn't have the price on the cut. It looks just like the original, except it doesn't have the this would have been probably a 10-cent comic. Right, early 60s, right before they went to 12 cents. Now this is interesting. 131 is not much after the facsimile I just put in, and it's already 15 cents. So it looks like Archie pushed their price up to 15 while the other companies went up. Yeah, look at this. Gold Key, I think, tried that for a few issues. The companies were going from 10 cents to 12 cents at the end of 1961. But, see, Archie, they pushed it up a nickel to 15 cents on 131, but by 140, they've already decided we better push it back down to 12 cents. But the little mirror that helps you draw, that really does work. But real artists do use that. Let's see, 131 to 140. So I think Gold Key did that for a brief while. They went up to 15 cents. And anyway, the raising the price really hurt the comic industry. Boys in droves stopped buying comic books because they didn't want to pay that extra 2 cents. From what I've read, these comics didn't suffer. These comics and like Lois Lane and comics meant for girls, the girls kept buying them. They didn't mind the extra 2 cents. I'm sorry I keep repeating this. I've said this several times in the last few episodes. But I don't assume that everyone watches every episode. February 64. Cool. 143. Here's 149. $153. When Veronica throws a party, she sure throws a party. The whole pool is filled with strawberry ice cream soda. Now you gotta remember, Veronica was a rich girl. $157. I bought this for $2 from, I remember where I bought this. It wasn't that long ago. It was right before COVID. Oop, another copy of the same issue. Beautiful cover. Well, what I was saying is the Beatles, Bond, and Batman, which is what a lot of people say were the three main fads, were reflected in Archie. Here, Archie's taken Veronica to a James Bond movie. And then later, once Man from U.N.C.L.E. became big on TV, they started in Life with Archie, making Archie a James Bond, Man from Riverdale instead of Man from U.N.C.L.E. And then they also made them superheroes like Batman. And then they formed a band, so with the Archies. So. $164. Esso had a advertising campaign, put a tiger in your tank. And then they would I don't know if they were giveaways or if they'd sell them at the Esso stations. They'd sell you a little tiger tail that you could tie to your gas cap so it looks like a tiger tail is hanging out of your gas tank when you're driving around. Esso later changed to Exxon. The first word I learned to read as a kid was Esso, because you're always driving around my dad's station wagon and I'd see Esso, so many of those Esso stations everywhere. I learned to read that word. I don't know. In the 70s, they changed it to Exxon. Oh well, 172. Betty, everybody on the dance floor is copying your new dance. What new dance? I'm looking for one of my new bracelets. Yeah, these covers with the bands playing are just magnificent. This is 180.
The Cascades from 1963. Here on Archie.
Here's 181.
Summer Spectacular 2026, Part 2. Yeah, man.
185. This song, these are all songs I created on Suno.com. But this song about eating shit on the beach, I didn't grow up in California. My wife did. Apparently, you know, someone says eat S, you know, that's an insult. But apparently in California, eating shit means that you fell down, you wrecked, like on your skateboard or on your surfboard. Man, you really ate shit out there. And that's not what it meant in Texas when I was growing up. But anyway, so there's another copy of that same issue. It's just a wonderful lost world, the world of American graffiti, the world of surf culture. I don't know. It's just one of those things, man. Here's Archie 189. $190. Ooh, what a beautiful cover this is. Get ready. 191. Look at that. Now that I figured out how to utilize AI to make comic book covers come to life, I want to do that with some of these band covers. It'll be great. 192. That's something girls would do. They would have their records on the floor without the sleeves. That's why when you buy records that were owned by girls, they're gonna be all messed up. I found that out as a record collector. You know, it's like, if you're gonna buy an album by the Monkees, you better really look at it carefully, because the girls, they would just throw their stuff everywhere. Yeah, I'm sure there were some girls that were. You ever see the movie Diner? This guy's getting married, and his wife is talking about, you keep everything. I just want to listen to the music. And he's like, no, you filed this record here, and it should be filed there. And he has everything in perfect order. It's just a different way that guys, not all guys and girls think that way, but it's a lot of times it's the case. Apollo 11 blast off man's first moon landing. So this is a great way to learn history of the mid-century, of the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Unfortunately, I don't have many 40s Archie comics, but they never presented themselves to me. And if they did, I didn't have the money for it. I remember in the early 80s, the band The Stray Cats came along, which they seem like they came from Mars. It's a rockabilly band. I'd always loved that music. All of a sudden, it's on MTV and it's popular. And this music I've always loved is suddenly popular with the girls at my high school. And I listened to this interview with Brian Setzer, the lead singer of the band, and he was talking about how he collected old Archie comic books. It's like, wow, I've never heard anyone say that. Wait, didn't I just show you this one? Yeah, I guess I have 2 copies of this issue. Girls, could you stop talking 1/125th of a second? He's trying to take their picture. $207. Ooh, that's a nice cover. $213. They're wearing Indian outfits. Green ice cream. She's reading Josie and the Pussycats. Or actually, at this point, it was just Josie. It later became Josie and the Pussycats when she formed that band, and they became a TV show sensation on Saturday mornings. Here's the Tunnel of Love, also known as a dark ride. $2.29. Now we're in the 20-cent era. 20-cent era is still okay. Archie did some cool stuff in the 20-cent era, like boy, that chilling, thrilling. No, it's Sabrina's Chilling Tales of Sorcery. That's an interesting comic. This is September '73. So right at the beginning of my third grade year. $2.36. $2.38. Ooh, this one's a little nasty. Yeesh. It's like someone peed on it and then wiped their butt on it. I'm done with Archie. I poop and pee on it.
Hey, you're tuned to the Grottu Orloff show. The big
Little Jinx is all wet, just like this comic was. $2.43.
Ah, yes, this one goes out to Gary Davis, a friend of the show.
Okay. Here's at this point we're up to the 35-cent era. That's $2.66. $2.73. Yeah, they're still good at this time period. Sure better than they are today. $2.74. They're at a miniature golf course. I don't have many covers that show them at drive-in movie theaters, which is surprising. There must be some. You know, it's that omnipresent Star Trek advertisement that tells you that you're in 1979. Eee. Sometimes you don't see it until you look at it carefully, and it's like someone spilled ice cream or something horrible there. Star Trek. I don't know why they thought the readers of Archie would be that into a Star Trek movie, but this is happy 300th. Why is he unhappy? Gee, this is my 300th anniversary and no one remembered, but everyone is remembering. How about that? $301. $308. $313. Okay, there's Miss Grundy. That the TV show said that Archie and her linked up. Why does Hollywood have to make everything? Oh, I know why. Why am I even asking the question? They want to make everything wholesome, perverse. It's all part of their socialist agenda. They want to knock down everything that's good and pure. $353. $3.90. Now there was a time in the 90s when Archie came back. They had kind of a revival of some sort. Let me see here. Where am I at? It might have had something to do with that Dan Parent guy, actually. In fact, I think it might have. It very well might have. Scheisse. Oh boy. I see something I don't like here. $3.98. We're in the dollar period. 1992. Yeah. They've got a recycled symbol. Inside page is 100% recycled paper. Recyclable too. And it feels very thin because this probably used to be toilet paper. And I guess that make people feel good, you know, but if you're a comic collector, you're not interested in recycled paper and recycling it. But 401, they did that same thing with a horrible Captain Planet comic book, but I forget if Marvel put that out. Some propaganda cartoon that they made a comic out of. Okay, Archie 416. This is the time period where Archie came back and did covers like this that are very collectible. Dan DeCarlo and Austin Flood. I can't read that, but anyway. So it's Dan DeCarlo, classic Archie artist. And here's a Stan Goldberg penciled cover, 427. He's another one of the great Archie artists. Yeah, this is this is when they had Archie team up with the Punisher. $4.28. I saw footage, I guess it was near Venezuela. You know, they had that horrible earthquake where the buildings just collapsed. And this is penciled by Stan Goldberg. He was Archie artist that went over to Marvel and did Millie the Model and made all those comics look very much like Archie. Anyway, they showed some guys that were under the water filming, you know, scuba diving when the earthquake happened. And when an earthquake happens and you're underwater, all the sand at the bottom of the ocean starts to come up. It's like, it's weird to see an earthquake happen when you're underwater. Yeah, but now everybody's got cameras going at all times, so 434. So you're able to capture things that you never thought you'd ever see. 435. Just thinking someone should put a Donald Trump head on him, and he's changed Mount Rushmore. I don't know. I'm not knocking Donald Trump. That was just a funny idea I had. I like Donald Trump. 437. He's having this 250th birthday celebration for the country in Washington, D.C., a huge World's Fair where he's built all these little buildings and stuff. And I remember when he was campaigning, he said it was going to happen in Des Moines in Iowa, where the state fair, Iowa's state fair and Texas's state fair, I think, are the most famous state fairs in the country, as far as I know. And he was going to take Des Moines because it's right central in the United States, and he wanted to have a year-long celebration at the State Fair park grounds. The State Fair, and it was going to culminate with the State Fair, which comes up in August in Iowa. And it was supposed to be the whole year before that, leading up to that big moment. But it didn't happen, and he had to do it in Washington, D.C. I guess the governor of Iowa must not have gone along with it. This cover doesn't feel glossy. It feels rough, so maybe this is that recycled paper. Ugh. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, Stan Goldberg's still doing the pencils here. $4.54. This is an interesting cover, $4.57. That's not a cover you normally see where he's looking at someone that's not a teenager. Let's see, $3.98. That was not $3.98. Hold on. What the hell time is it? Is it time for tacos? No. Okay. I have 2 copies of $4.73. They're advertising their website. That looks like the last issue of Archie's actual title that I have. I have some copies of this anti-drug promotional comic that was given away in schools. What is this artist name? Hal something? No, penciling Stan Goldberg. There's a guy, I forget his name, that does the Archie Christian comics for Spire, where their eyes are always gigantically big, but that's not the same guy here. Anyway, just an anti-drug comic. We've got a few of them. Oh, I found them, man. Here's what I'm talking about. See, Spire Christian Comics. Archie's something else. It's a very interesting style. Looks like an early 50s Mad imitation. With all the detail there. This hippie's got a sign that says, boycott everything. This, the artist is named Al Hartley. That's right, Al Hartley. And these would be available in Christian bookstores. You'd go in a Christian bookstore, and they'd have a rack of comics that I got this one about Tom Landry, who was the coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and he was Christian. And I bought the Cross and the Switchblade, Barney Blade. Hansi. This is about a girl that's believes all the propaganda in Nazi Germany, and then converts into Christian. But there's a lot of people that want to. It's a very expensive comic because it's called Hansi, the girl who loved the swastika, and it's got her all smiling and the swastika behind her, and people think it's funny to put it up on their comic book walls, but it's it's not a pro-Hitler comic. There's a New World coming. I bought that one when it came out. Anyway, this one I got later. That's what it looks like inside. The art style is just a little bit different. But here is, see, the Christian bookstores didn't think anything of just putting a sticker right on the comic. But look at this. The way he draws Betty, her eyes. Archie's terrified. Jughead's about to vomit. Why they'd be in the same car with the principal and their teacher? No, that's not their teacher. That's Big yeah. I don't know who this. I think he's the janitor of the school, maybe. Look at his face. I don't know, man. It shows Jughead's creating a cheeseburger, but look at this, man. They're going through a dark ride, I guess. And
This is Murray Morton. After slurping up at 7-Eleven.
look at that panel.
I'm sure it was a surprise.
Every week my father makes me cut the grass. Well, I was sick of it.
This is pretty cool.
Yesterday I slurped at 7-Eleven, and this morning the lawnmower broke.
There he is escaping from the top of the House of Horror. So where is the...
I decided to try slurping at 7-Eleven. And that very night we walked out.
Yeah, this is very creative and insane. The art style is...
I always wanted to be on the radio. I slurped just once on at 7-Eleven.
and this page.
And now I'm on the radio. Hello out there in America.
And the artist, there's the artist.
For years I've taken an apple to
I'd like to know more about this artist.
one thing for me.
I don't know that
I decided to take her slurping.
he ever did the regular Archie comic or if he just did Archie in these Christian comics, but I like seeing a different style. I mean, it's like, it's just fascinating to me. Here's another one, Archie's car, also from, whoa. This one is, oh, this is weird. Okay, I'm seeing something. It came out from Spire, but this other Christian company must have done a reprint of it. Or maybe it's regional. This one is called New Barber Christian Comics. And this was 49 cents, and this is 79 cents, so this is a later printing.
I've always been very unattractive. Oh, the strike. I was a dumpy, fat man.
And then this
And then I decided to slurp.
this is also a later printing of, it's got the new,
I'm a dumpy, fat blonde.
This is Harley Morton.
I always smelled a lot like grass.
yeah, buddy.
7-Eleven, and after just one slurp, I don't smell like grass anymore. I smell like candle.
Veronica's father is floating in his pool, and all of a sudden Archie's car goes over him like the Dukes of Hazzard and crashes into the pool. This is brilliant. But he draws them just looking like they're crazed, insane. Like, ooh, there are a lot more of these than I realized. Look at all. I need to get these because I love this artist. I like that there's these comics had that nice message. $4.73. I'm sorry, that's not what. Oh, there's more Spire comics. Maybe I have more of these. I thought that was all of them, but there's more. Archie's date book. This is a Spire printing. Still that same great artist. Okay, they were 69 cents when Spire printed them. So they were 10 cents more when that other company printed them. That's interesting. Look at the black lines around everything. That's heavy black lines. That's interesting. I like when artists bring something of themselves to the art, but don't get so away from it that it looks alien and not like what it's supposed to look like. But Archie and Friends, this is a more recent book, Endless Summer, based on the early 70s greatest hits Beach Boys collection. And here's Archie and Friends #1. This is it's a great cover. There never was an Archie video game that I know of. Wouldn't that be cool, though? The fantasy world of two girls that are best friends, that have grown up together, that both have a crush on the same guy, and yet they're still friends. I don't think that's ever happened in real life. Unless, I don't know. I don't want to. Maybe in. I don't know. It just seems odd. Because usually that would mean a fight. This is Archie Past, Present, and Future Fun. This is a free comic book day book from when this series was on. Now that's the way the Archie was portrayed, and I mean the cast look like they could be the characters. I mean Archie, Betty, Veronica, there's Jughead. I can tell that's Reggie. Josie and the Pussycats. In the comic, Josie had red hair, and then there was Melody with blonde hair, and then there was an African-American girl in this TV show on the CW network. All three of Josie and the Pussycats are African-American. That must be Cheryl Blossom, the red-haired girl they introduced in the 90s. But look, nobody's smiling. It's like, it's not fun. It's like, it's depressing and dark. Why make Archie depressing and dark? But see, what this is it's kind of like the Spider-Man movie with all three Spider-Mans interacting. You got the one of today, the one of the 40s and 50s, the one of the 70s all together. Another free comic book day is the 65th anniversary bash. Look how they're drawing Katie Keene now. Oh my gosh. Betty looks like a demented Japanese anime character. Manga, whatever you call it. So here's Josie and the Pussycats appearing. This is a comic from, I would say, around the time of COVID. I don't know. 2006? No, maybe not. They were always trying to, right around 2006, I think they tried to have a swine flu. They tried to do it with swine flu, but they waited until the end of Trump's presidency to bring that out. Archie and Friends #1. I guess that's a different cover. I don't know what the hell that is. Okay, I think we're done with those. We're ready to get back into vintage Archie. This book is yeesh. This book is bad. Archie Annual Yearbook, 8th edition. Horrible, like big you cut into it. Awful. But a wonderful book. And they're really thick. They really are like pulps. So that's the 8th annual. Here's the 17th annual. And we're into the 60s now, as you can see by this groovy ad on the back. That's the 17th issue. By the 23rd issue, the Archies are formed. Fantastic. What time is it? Almost 4. On Tuesday, they have a festival in front of that Mexican restaurant in that little town. What is going on, man? Okay, that's Archie Annual. That may be all of Archie Annual. Oh no. Archie Annual 26. He's saying, right on. Here's 28. No, this is Archie and Me. Okay. Archie and Me 66. Archie and Me 75. This is a book I don't have as many of. Archie and Me 120. Archie and Me 125. I think this is mostly about Archie and Mr. Weatherby. Yeah, it looks like this is about the principal of the school and Archie and their interactions. So, kind of like Welcome Back, Kotter, and the way he had to interact with his principal. 143. That's kind of a crazy cover. Archie and Me 150. Okay, that's all I have of Archie and Me. Did we see this one? Archie and Friends number 7? I don't think I showed you this one. Okay. Okay. Archie meets the Punisher. My wife just sent me a message. Want to go ahead and get the tacos? Yeah, I would say so. We're already at 2 hours. Archie and the Ramones. And then they had Archie teaming up with Batman from '66. So this is Archie Comics and DC teaming up. And they had all these alternate covers. Yeah, I think it was just maybe one issue where they teamed up. But they had different covers that you could, I don't know. These were like, you know, these were not expensive books. And here is, we'll start with this one next time, which is Archie as a superhero, Pureheart the Powerful. And there's a facsimile of the first time he was Pureheart the Powerful, probably in your comic store now. In fact, we'll look at that issue. I'll open it up. Because then we're moving to Archie at Riverdale High. Yeah, we need to open up that superhero issue and see the insides. We'll do that next time. This is a facsimile I need to put in, the Jughead, where it's a punk versus funk. This just came out recently. Okay. All right.